Good afternoon. Oh yeah, it's been a while. It's been a long while since we last met. My name is Dr. Angel Michaels. And I am here to help you. So, you're here. You brought it to me. Came a long way, didn't it? All the way from France. The Republic of France. How long have we waited to see this again? We must celebrate. You and I. We must celebrate as friends do. I only have one of these. Never had it before. Country Club malt liquor. I hear it tastes a little skunky. We'll have to find out together. Look at those bubbles. Oh yeah. My friend. My fellow time traveler. This one is for you. Labels out. Oh. Righteous. Righteous. Oh my God. That is some tasty malt liquor. My first country club. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. But I digress. I have a story to tell. A story about time travel. A story that'll take us halfway around the world. Do you remember the movie? Somewhere in Time. With Christopher Reeve. Jane Seymour. Christopher Plummer. It came out in 1980. 1980. Our little time traveler And this package has a connection with that movie. I sent away for this when I found it. I brought this little time traveler home. Do you remember the method of time travel? Christopher Reeve used to go 90 years backwards in time to find the love of his life, his soulmate. To think on that you could go back in time, make things right, somehow be with the one you love, somehow make things right. I think we all sit back and wish on that. Thank you, my fine envelope, for bringing this back home to me. Time travel isn't always the way it's presented in the movies. Sometimes traveling through time is a one-way street. Sometimes said time traveler gets lost in the sands of time. Loses his way. Can't find his way home. Today, that's one of those stories. But thankfully, the story has a happy ending. Because this time traveler is coming home. with these scissors. This cost me a pretty penny. I can't even tell you how much it cost. You would think I was mad. You'd think I was unstable. Kicking over chairs and knocking over tables in a restaurant. In a West End town. I can't believe I'm holding you in my hands again. It's been a long time, my friend. A very long time. We will drink to that, my friend, you and I. It came with a note. I would like to read it to you. And this is Dear Dr. Andrew Michaels, I'm happy to send this wonderful novel by Richard Matheson, which is my preferred one since I'm reading books. This dramatic love story is unforgettable once you read it. And after reading it in French, I wanted to feel it in his original version. You have today the pleasure, I hope, to get it from a French admirer. Yours, Theria. Theory? Theria. Thierry. I don't want to say his last name, or her last name. I wonder when they sold me the book. They knew I knew about the book. But did they know I knew about this book? The movie is somewhere in time. Based on the novel Bid Time Return by Richard Matheson. A quick history lesson. Many of you might know of the book The Omega Man, The Last Man on Earth, I Am Legend, all those different names, the same book, the same movie, done once with Vincent Price, done again with Charlton Heston, then done for your generation now with Will Smith. I Am Legend was written by Richard Matheson. He wrote many classic Twilight Zone episodes, some of my favorite, some of the ones that stand out and you go, oh, that was a good Twilight Zone. Check and see who wrote it. It was probably Richard Matheson. I never grew tired of reading Richard Matheson novels. I was 12 years old in 1980. The Superman movies with Christopher Reeve just came out, and for their time period, for the time in which they were produced, they were incredible superhero movies. Superman 1 and 2. Superman 3 and beyond got a little. But Superman 1 and 2. Cinematic. Masterpiece. The producers of that movie were my favorite movie producers who produced The Three Musketeers and The Four Musketeers movies in the 1970s. And I both admired and loved those Three Musketeers movies so much. Even as a child, when I found out the same people were putting together a Superman movie, I couldn't believe it. I know I was very young, but I was tuned in to my universe. And one of my favorite movies was The Omega Man. Charlton Heston was in a movie called The Omega Man. And I loved that movie, The Last Man on Earth. And I knew it was written by a man named Richard Matheson, who did Twilight Zones. And I knew this movie was coming out with Christopher Reeve in it. And it was called Somewhere in Time. And I was playing chess with my minister, believe it or not. My minister was teaching us to play chess, my older brother and I, and we were whipping the pants off of him. We were really good at chess. I'm a really good chess player, even if I haven't played for years. I just sit down and play chess. Not that great, but I'm pretty good. I've actually beaten ranked players, believe it or not. I don't know if they were ranked nationally, but the guy said, I'm ranked, and I beat him, and then he had a seizure. But anyway, that's another story. So, my brother was playing the game of chess, and I was watching TV. Back then you had, your 3 channels. And this preview for this movie, Somewhere in Time with Christopher Reeve, came on. And I was enamored with it, so I tried looking it up. And back then, you had to try and find a magazine or story about it. And they said it was based off of a book by Richard Matheson. Richard Matheson wrote this movie. Richard Matheson wrote this movie. I know it's silly because I'm a kid. So I went to the library and I used the Dewey decimal system, and I found this book. Bid Time Return. And I went to check it out. I did. On September 21st, 1980, right before this movie came out. This is the original 1975 hardback, right out of the library. A very rare book. Now, pristine copies of this go for upwards of $1,000. I got this for a very reasonable amount of money. And I do thank my friend from France for selling it to me at that price. With all good things, time has a way of changing things. Things change through time. The movie came and went and became a modest success and developed a cult following. Like all young men, I had aspirations of being a romantic Jack the Lad with the ladies. And I wanted to be like Christopher Reeve in the book. His character. I wanted to be cool with the ladies. So as I got older, I went back to the library and tried to check out Bid Time Return again. Interested in girls around 1982. I was 14 or so. And I went to the library and found out Bid Time Return was stolen from the public library sometime the year before, May 11th, 1981. I don't know where it went. I don't know who took it. But back then there was no Amazon. And I was a kid in the middle of Ohio somewhere. And I wasn't going to find this book on a shelf somewhere in a used bookstore. And I wanted this book because it's different than the movie. Slightly different. Not terribly different, but a different location for the hotel and slightly different characters go into more development than in the movie. And I wanted to read it again. I wanted to capture the flavor, the words, the nostalgia that Richard Matheson put down into words. I wanted him to help me. I wanted him to show me how to win a girl's heart, to prove to somebody that I love them. Bid time return. But it was out of my reach. Lost to the sands of time. We go forward to 1988, and I have had many broken hearts and many crushes. I'm almost 21 and I meet a most beautiful girl. And I fall in love with her. And we're sitting down talking, and we decide to rent a movie. Now that was back when you could rent a VHS tape for like $2 or $3 at the grocery store, or the local video rental store. So we went to Giant Eagle, it was a grocery store, and we went to rent a movie. And she stopped and looked at the shelf, and she lost her breath for a second, went, oh, I want to rent this. I want to watch this. And I thought, okay. She picked up Somewhere in Time. Oh, boys and girls, I was thrilled. I think sometimes we all wish we could go back and feel that again. Sometimes I think I can. Sometimes I think I can go back in that store and feel that moment in time just once more when she pulled that cheap, worn, beaten up VHS tape off the shelf. And my heart went up into my ears. And I saw her pull that VHS tape to her chest. Just like I did with this book all those years ago. It's April 2019, and we're a long way from 1981. And I don't know why. I don't remember why. Last month. I don't remember why. I started looking up. I know what it was. I remember now. Hold on. I remember now. I saw 10 things you didn't know about the movie Somewhere in Time by a YouTube artist I happen to be subscribed to. And I watched the video. And he said, many people don't know this, but the 1980 movie Somewhere in Time was based on the 1975 novel Bid Time Return by Richard Matheson. And I said, yes. Richard Matheson, everyone. He's a pretty good guy. Hell of a writer. He also wrote screenplays for some other movies you might remember. I Am Legend, Hell House, The Incredible Shrinking Man, The Devil Rides Out, many Twilight Zones. Alfred Hitchcock presents some Star Treks, original Star Trek episodes. Wanted Dead or Alive, Have Gun Will Travel. The Kolchak Papers, The Night Stalker, for 1972, won the highest rating of any film ever written for television. My all-time favorite TV show when I was a kid in 1973, 74, whenever they made it. They made 2 movies. Then they turned it into a television series. And Chris Carter, who made X-Files, and Dr. Andrew Michaels, who does this YouTube channel, were inspired by the Richard Matheson TV pilot, Kolchak, The Night Stalker. Kolchak, The Night Stalker with Darren McGavin. Some of you might remember from the movie A Christmas Story with Ralphie and the BB gun and you're going to shoot your eye out. All-time greatest movie ever made. Darren McGavin was like one of my favorite actors as a child growing up. Darren McGavin was Kolchak, the Night Stalker, and Kolchak, the Night Stalker was written by Richard Matheson. If it was a different time and the internet was around, you wouldn't be reading Harry Potter, you'd be reading Richard Matheson. Not taken away from Harry Potter, but damn, this guy wrote some good stuff. And I don't give up. I never give up. I never give up. My whole life is framed around the fact that as old as I get, as beat up as I get, and as broken as I get, old TR, old Dr. Andrew Michaels, he doesn't give up. So I did a quick search on eBay for a copy of this book that I've always wanted my wife to read. And maybe because we've been married 30 years, I felt like I wanted to do something special for her. And it's hard to top yourself, you know? There's only so many bouquets of flowers and so many rings and so many vacations and things you can do. You want to impress a woman. You want to show her that you really went the distance. Oh, and I went the distance all right. I went all the way to France. And I found a copy of Bedtime Return by Richard Matheson that was stolen from a library in May 1981. And in 2019, I paid that person whatever they wanted. Buy it now price. Please send it right away. And they did. And they sent a nice note. And I got a copy of the original. I don't want to show the note because their name's on it. Bedtime Return, hardback, first edition, $8.95 copy, $8.95 copy. from 1975. And today, it came, and it's in my hands. Welcome home. Time traveler. Welcome home. That's all right. I want to thank all of you who took the time to join me here today, to share in this moment, to share a drink, make a toast, and call back to an earlier time. One giant man from the next. Bid Time Return by Richard Matheson. Inspired by an earlier time travel book. And definitely by Richard II. Oh, call back yesterday. Oh, call back yesterday. Bid time return. Oh, call back yesterday. Bid time return. That's some good shit. I'd like to think, as crazy as it sounds, Richard Matheson would laugh at me. Richard Matheson would say, "You are one crazy mofo." Just one. I think sometimes about stories I've read that Stephen King based Carrie off of two different real girls. Two girls in his life that he knew. They never stood a chance. Their lives were never going to turn out good. And their lives actually became tragedies. And I think sometimes Stephen King... Oh my God, this book is in incredible shape. And I think Stephen King made those two girls in his own way immortal. It's the bard's job to tell the tales, tell the stories, make people a legend, make people a villain, make a human being with their finite lifetime. Immortal beyond the sands of time. And I think Richard Matheson would laugh at me for loving his book too much. But I think he'd be happy that I'm handing it over to my wife to read. That I'll sit there and I'll watch her read it while I work on my silly videos for you. And you give me the courage to go on. And you give me the courage to go forward. And in return, I tell you the stories of the time travelers and the monsters and the legends that keep us safe at night. And I'll look up from where I'm working and I'll see her across the room. And I'll see her turning the pages of the grandest book I've ever held in my hands. And I'll be at peace. I will be at peace. Karma, Kismet, time has come full circle. And everything is right in the world. Everything is right in the world. I think sometimes when we sit around and we think about Christopher Reeve and his life and his witness to us, and we think about the tragedies he's had, the hardships he endured, and we measure him by those things. There is a small piece of trivia that I measure him by. And it happened while he was filming the movie Somewhere in Time. During one of the last scenes of the movie, the picnic scene, he's sitting on the ground with Jane Seymour. He's trying to film, desperately trying to act appropriately and film the scene. But he had just found out earlier that day that his then girlfriend was pregnant with his first child. He was going to be a father. He was totally distracted, totally out of his mind with excitement. And the moment he found out that he was going to be a father for the first time was immortalized on film. The entire crew, everyone that knew him, forever would see the moment he found out he was going to be a father. It was recorded for all time. And in that moment, in my mind, that, my friends, is the moment Christopher Reeve ascended and became immortal. The look struggling, flustered, trying to do his lines, trying to do what he was paid to do, while the whole world looks on, while he thinks about his future child and his future responsibilities. That, not Superman, not his advocacy for the infirmed. That is what made him immortal. We should all be so lucky. We all should strive to be so lucky to be immortalized in that moment. I know I've talked a lot about my family, especially my wife and my marriage a lot in the last few videos. And I know all of you might be concerned or worried or even happy or elated for me. Sometimes the muse, the beast that is ASMR, takes me down a path. Sometimes it leads me to some truth I didn't even know I was dwelling on. Sometimes it frees me from some kind of anguish I have felt in my heart because of donations, ad revenue, patronage from people like you. I was able to immediately purchase something like this and bring it back home. As I've said more than once in this video, your friend the doctor never gives up. No. You and I, my friend, we never give up. Because there's nothing in giving up. Giving up leaves us with nothing. My witness to you is to fight every day. Fight. Fight until the fight is over. You know who I'm talking to right now. You think you're alone. You think nobody cares. You think you have no hope. I've been where there's no hope. That's just time to get started. That's when you grit your teeth. You ball up your fists and you get busy living. Or you get busy dying. But this man, right here, thinks you, my friend, are gonna get busy living. So don't you let me down. And I don't care who thinks it's a paltry, silly, novel little idea. They don't know you and they don't know me, baby. And we don't give up. We don't quit. We don't don't surrender. We fight until the fight is over. Right? That's right. So, we make a little pact. You and I. A pinky promise, if you will. You don't give up. And I don't give up. It may take 30, 40 years of time. But as we know, time travelers have a tendency to eventually find their way home. There you are. I thought I lost you for a minute. I was saving this for a long time. We're going to celebrate. This has been in my refrigerator for a long time. Colt 45, Black Label, malt liquor, high gravity, 8.5 volume. That thing is just a dripping with condensation. Colt 45 double malt, the creme de la creme of the malt liquor world, and a show with everything but Yul Brenner. This is one badass stallion, and it works every time. One of these boys will put you on your ass solo. Listen to that fizz. Oh yeah. Colt 45 double malt, 8.5. Labels out, babies. Labels out. Oh. Succulent. Succulent, my friends. Cheers. Toast with your friend, Dr. Andrew Michaels. Toast with me. Together, we celebrate the return of the time traveler. But also, we celebrate the return of you, my friend, to the fold. I welcome you with open arms to the fold. 24 ounces of pure malt liquor heaven. Colt 45 double malt. Works every time. Oh, yes. Righteous. I want you to know, I only do these videos for you because I know you like them. I know they're silly. I know they're dumb. And I know I tell silly stories. But they're my stories. They're my stories to tell. And I'm proud that you took the time to come and listen. That you care about me. And that I care about you. And together, we are not alone in this world. this creation, we found each other. If you're still listening, say it with me. In this creation, we are not alone. In this creation, we found each other. And in that, you and I, we are not alone. And there are others who would say, do not listen to that or do not listen to this. But they are wrong. Because they don't know us. They don't care about us. They don't care about me, and they don't care about you. The internet is a double-edged sword. It cuts deeply either way. And in this case, it cuts deeply. It separates you from your brothers and sisters. But in other ways, it brings you closer to those who actually listen, care, worry, shepherd you. I know it's silly and I can't talk to each and every one of you, but those of you I have tried to reach out to, I have tried to be a good steward of all that has been given to me. My witness is to you that I don't give up. And I reach out to you, and you reach out to me, and together there is peace. If you're still here from the very beginning, I must tell you, sharing, promoting, subscribing helps this channel so much. It's so hard to get noticed. YouTube is literally crushing my balls between a vice, and I need your help. It takes you minutes to share, minutes to subscribe and comment and like my stupid silly videos, and it's free. I almost would prefer free help from you than donations, because at least I would get some help to fight off what YouTube does to me on a daily basis. But it really doesn't matter. And after 4 or 5 years, I think you all know that. If you think I'm going to quit, there's only one thing that can make this old dog quit, and it ain't YouTube. A lot of people have asked me to keep making videos because I help them with their chronic pain and their depression and their anxiety. And please don't quit. Please stay with us. Please stay with me. And I got news for you. There's only one thing. And even that one thing may not separate you from me. I'm never going to give up on you. And the reason I'm never going to give up on you as I look deeply into your eyes is because you never gave up on me. You know it's true. From day one, you never gave up on me. God bless you, each and every one. I have to leave now, but I'll return. return soon. And when I do, I'll have more great stories. More fantastical adventures. More insane triggers for you to enjoy. Till I see all of you again, please know that I love you just as you are. And all are welcome here. Doesn't matter who you are. I don't care. It's none of my business. It's nobody else's. All are welcome at the table here with Dr. Andrew Michaels. Until I see all of you again, please have a most blessed day. You've always got a friend in me. A friend right here.